The good. The bad. The ugly. In the name of awareness and advocacy.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to On the Air Sickled. My name is OD. I'm the executive director and host for this amazing podcast. Listen, the holidays aren't easy for everyone. As Thanksgiving approaches, On the Air Sickled stands with those carrying invisible weight this season. We recognize that for some, this Thanksgiving may be your last, and for others, this Thanksgiving comes with someone missing from the table. No matter what this season holds, please remember, you are not alone. Take time to breathe, to feel, and to reach out. Gratitude and grief can coexist, and both deserve space. If you or someone you know is dealing with mental health challenges at any time, not just during the holidays, please reach out for help. You can contact the 988 Suicide Crisis Lifeline by calling or texting 988 or visit 988lifeline.org. It is confidential and it's 24/7. On the Air Sickled stands with you during this holiday season, no matter what you're going through. Listen, we are doing big things here On the Air Sickled as we are constantly looking for opportunities to evolve our broadcasting experience for all of our viewers. I'm excited to air our first in-person podcast guest, Ms. Jada the Realtor, and that episode is coming at you live right now.
On the Air Sickled, you are never alone. Together we're stronger. Together we've grown. On the Air Sickled, where love shines through. Awareness, compassion for me and you. On the Air Sickled.
Hello, everyone. Listen, as you can see, we got Aaron on the side here, and you got Jada that's right there in the middle. She's sitting right next to me. I'm so excited for our first in-person broadcast. Listen, I want you guys to know that this is an opportunity to engage with us, okay? Listen, we're finding ways that we can evolve ourselves. We're finding ways that we can get out into the community. We're finding ways to get the On the Air Sickled name out there, and this is how we do it. We're meeting with people in the community. We're getting their stories, and we're finding out how they connect to the sickle cell community. Before we go ahead and bring our questions to Miss Jada, I want to turn it over to Miss Erin. Erin, how are you doing?
I'm here. I'm blessed. I'm excited.
Awesome. Listen, Erin, I'm so excited that she is able to join us because actually what will happen tomorrow is super exciting. I'm going to actually switch gears here and talk about our sponsors. I want to start with Shift Humanity. As you can see from our setup on the side here, we have two sponsors. Grayson Sorrell is the founder and author of Shift Humanity. So excited. In Shift Humanity, Grayson creatively journeys through an internal navigation system for a meaningful life, empowering readers to discover their intrinsic value and, in turn, generate positive societal impact, unraveling the vibrant tapestry of relatable human experiences and emotions. Examine how our responses to adversity shape our perceptions of self, divinity, and the broader societal landscape. This book is not just a call to action. It is a personal invitation to become a catalyst of change. It's time to become a humanity shifter. And again, I have her book right here, Shift Humanity. Shift to Humanity. Grayson has been an ongoing partner of On the Air Sickle. So happy to partner with her. Please go to Amazon.com and get your copy of this book. You do not want to miss the opportunity to read her wisdom with inside these pages. You can simply go to www.graysonsorrell.com and you can get your copy today. All right, now it is time to give Aaron the mic. Aaron, why don't you talk to us about our next sponsor?
I'm very, very proud and so blessed for Sickle Cell Medical Advocacy. As you can see, tomorrow is our graduation. Yes, I was not stuttering. I said ours, because I will be a part of Sickle Cell Medical Advocacy, being a medical navigator. So thank you again, Sickle Cell Medical Advocate, because we appreciate you always being there with us and making sure every patient has a voice in their back pocket. Just in case those doctors not hearing them well, we got you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, Sickle Cell Medical Advocacy exists to be able to support the sickle cell community. So if there is a situation that you are facing in the hospital and you are having trouble getting your medications, you're having trouble communicating with the doctors or the nurses or the professionals that are involved in your care, Sickle Cell Medical Advocacy trains healthcare navigators to help you navigate the medical system. So as Aaron said, she's graduating tomorrow. On the Air Sickled is determined to ensure that we have the best representation of sickle cell advocates on our team. And in order to do that, we have to have certified healthcare navigators to be part of this mission. And so Aaron holds the title of co-host, and tomorrow she will hold the title of certified sickle cell healthcare navigator. So excited for her. Congratulations to our co-host, Aaron.
And congratulations
All right, ladies and
to
gentlemen.
everybody else that took that class. Graduation tomorrow.
That's right. Well, I'm glad that you said that. So we actually have a board member who also took the class. We also have our chaplain who also took the class. And so they also will be graduating tomorrow as certified sickle cell healthcare navigators. Congratulations to all of the On the Air Sickle team members. We are doing some big things here at On the Air Sickle. Thank you. All right. Now it is time for our special guest, Miss Jada the Realtor. Again, I'm going to mispronounce it, so help me. Arstilde. I got it. All right. So let's do a little backstory here before we dive into the questions. So this young lady actually helped my wife and I in an urgent situation, a very stressful situation, to find our current home. And so super excited. We wanted to find out how we could say thank you to her. And in our conversation, as we were searching for a place to live, Jada shared that she has a family member that that thrives with sickle cell disease. And so we said, well, listen, you qualify to be on our podcast. She's like, you have a podcast? Yes, we have a podcast. And so just excited to have her presence, have her next to us in the studio, ladies and gentlemen, the studio. Jada said, I wanted to come in person and do this show, and so we made it happen. So really, really happy to have you here. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for making it here. Oh, yeah. So before we get into the topic of your profession, tell us a little bit about your connection with sickle cell and why you're so passionate about this community.
Yeah, so the family member is actually my godbrother, and my godbrother is younger than me. Now he's huge, so you wouldn't even know that. But he's always had sickle cell. Now, growing up, it wasn't something that my godmom kind of announced. We just, as a kid, I knew he was in and out of the hospital. And as I got older, that's when my godmom or my mom told me that he has sickle cell. I mean, we had no idea what it was, right? Like oftentimes diseases, chronic diseases, illnesses, there's not something that we talk about in prevention or how to deal with it. It's not a common topic at the dinner table. But we found out, or I found out that he had sickle cell, and it was just something that he just had. You know, it never took a step further to kind of figure out, you know, well, what is that life like? But to this day, he is thriving, and we've talked about it a few times. I've made the connection with you guys. I actually just spoke with him today too.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and he was like, oh yeah, that guy called me and he was talking to me about it. I know I haven't reached out. I'm going to reach back out. I said, yeah, you know, I said, look, I know your mom is an advocate. His mom, you know, mom goes to bat for him in the hospitals, and I've known that too. I never really understood the need until I kind of got older and realized that care is not given 100% across the board to everybody the same way.
Yeah.
And so his mom was always like an advocate. I never really understood like why she would go so hard in hospitals, but meeting you, knowing about your podcast and the work that you guys do and the other work that amazing people are doing out there in regards to sickle cell alone helps me to understand that there really is a need. So it's something that I have been talking more about and learning more about, and you know, hopefully talking more with my god brother too, and you know, just staying up to date, seeing what I can do. Right? I heard you guys before the show talking about it'd be good for people to test to see if they have the trait, and that's again not something that we even talk about. That's not even a suggestion that would even be brought up. You know, so that's
absolutely. You know, and as we know, sickle cell disease is a very stressful, you know, it is different things happen in everyone's life that cause stress, right? And so to not only have to, as a man, be a provider, a husband, a father, but also having to work, right? Those are stressors alone, right? There are good stressors, there are bad ones. But to have sickle cell disease, it's almost like those stressors will heighten the, you know, the pain levels of the individual dealing with sickle cell disease. So, which is why I wanted you to come onto the show, because what you do is phenomenal, right? Helping people to get housing, educating them, letting them know their value, letting them know, hey, listen, you can afford this, updating them every step of the way. I know that for us, we needed a quick turnaround, and you were very responsive. Most people are not, right? And so that just is something that's credible to you directly and how you operate. I want to know, how do you handle, you know, when people are stressed out, going through this process? How do you help to kind of calm them down and, you know, get them to breathe a little bit?
Yeah, that's a good point. And the process when you're renting, when you're buying, when you're selling, it is a stressful process. Even when you're renting, which a lot of people don't realize, when you're renting, there's normally a quicker turnaround. And there's, you know, so many different things that come into play. The statistics actually show that you have more lawsuits in landlords and tenants than you have in buyer sales, right? Wow. So it can be a very stressful process by nature. And I think just because of the way that I approach situations in life, I also transfer that into my career. And so understanding that real estate is not just about buying and selling and renting. It is a very big part of people's everyday life, right? Like where you have to live is so important that it causes you that stress. And so me as your realtor, I believe that is a part of my responsibility, is to ease tension, is to make the process as comfortable, as fun, as informative as possible, because I want the whole process to be a good experience and not something that is full of just stress. I never want you to look back and be like, oh my God, that was so stressful. And my realtor didn't do anything, but you know, they weren't responsive, you know, they didn't help in the way that I needed to. So I try to assess what my clients need, and then I try to fill that need.
And do you find that it is easier for you to put yourself in their shoes to kind of understand the dynamic of the stress level that they're facing? How do you find connection? Because I know that, you know, your partner who helped us to find our last home, you know, when she referred you to us, we were kind of skeptical. We were like, wait a minute. who's this new person, right?
Uh-huh.
And so it was very difficult for us to come into your presence
Yeah.
and kind of be that warm and fuzzy. We were very like
Yeah.
guards up,
Yeah.
who's this girl?
Uh-huh.
Does she know what she's talking about? And almost instantly, we just felt
Mhm.
your genuine presence, right?
Aw.
We felt that you were looking at us as people
Yeah.
and not at our pockets.
Right.
And that alone is
Yeah.
something that is like, oh my gosh, yes, we want to work with this woman because we
Yeah.
want to be able to be with someone who understands one,
Mhm.
the Black community. I'm going to say it out there,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
But two, who understands connection,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So, what is it that you find that brings you closer to your clients?
Yeah. Well, I'm a God-fearing woman. And so, I have a lot of mottos that are really just Bible verses. But one of the big things for me is God tells us to lead with love.
Mm.
And no matter what you do it to your fullest and you do it with best intentions.
Mhm.
And so, by nature, when I meet people and if they're potential clients, if they're leads, whoever they are, that's how I lead. I lead with integrity. I see people as people. I don't see people as commissions,
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
again, it's more than just a transaction that's taking place. It is a part of your life, right? There's this experience, there's this instance that I'm able to experience with you guys, and go through this process with you. So I see people for who they are, and I try to find like a connection. You kind of know a little bit about my background,
Yeah.
and the work that I did in college and a little bit thereafter. Helping communities is something that I am very passionate about. But just seeing you as a human and seeing that you guys are in need, and hearing your story, and I'm like, obviously, yes, let's help these amazing people to release some of the stress. They have children, they still have jobs, all these things that are happening. What is it that I can do to help? And that's really how I approach, and with everyone, really.
Yes. Awesome. Awesome. All right. So I don't know, Aaron, did you have any questions that you want to chime in? I know we're trying this thing out, y'all, where she's in the studio and Aaron's virtual with us. But Aaron, did you have any questions that you want to chime in?
I was actually thinking about something that you said. You said it was your god brother's mother that was his advocate. I remember when
My
I was. Oh,
So
go
it's
ahead,
my
baby.
god brother, and his mother is his advocate. Or it at
Oh,
least was when we were growing up. Now he's older, kind of living his own life. I'm not sure what that dynamic looks like.
man, I remember when I was young. My mom used to bounce back through so many different people because she was trying to find a house that was close to my hospital.
Mm.
So I'm like, why was she trying so hard? Like every crisis, she will time my crisis. Be like, okay, I have to get her here at this amount of time, or we're going to get real worse.
Mm.
Mm.
But all the houses that was near my hospital, just wasn't in her budget.
Oh my
Mm.
goodness. Aaron, I'm so glad that you actually brought that up because it is something that my wife and I do naturally, right? When we're going on vacation, we're like, what's the nearest hospital?
Hmm.
When we are looking for housing, we're like,
Mhm.
what's the nearest hospital? When I'm looking for a new job, I'm like, what's the nearest hospital? Um, have you ever felt like, people were like, okay, these are my limitations.
Mhm.
This is the region that I can operate in,
Mhm.
and it made it a little challenging for you to fulfill your commitment to them.
So I don't know if it makes it a little bit challenging, because it's just the parameters of their life, and it just is what it is. And so you have to go out and find that property that's going to fit their needs.
Mm.
That's a good point that you bring up, Aaron, because that is something that we do, or that I do as a realtor. When I sit with my clients, I say, okay, are there any specific places that you need to be next to? Normally it's their job. They're like, look, on that beltway, the traffic gets crazy.
Ridiculous.
I
Yeah.
don't want to be in Stafford.
Right.
Put me in Alexandria so I can have a 10-minute commute to
Yeah.
DC. But you bring up a great point that there are other important places that you do have to be next to. Not just job, not just family, but something as important as a hospital.
Mm-hmm.
So that has happened. That happens with every client. Every client needs to be nearer to something, right? It's a big thing in their life that's very important to them. It's never been a hospital though, believe it or not, but,
Wow.
but that's really important.
Wow.
Mhm.
So, Aaron, you just gave her another tool in her toolbox.
Absolutely,
there.
I'm using that.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
because
yeah.
I mean, it's important to consider, right? You
Mhm.
don't know, okay, this is the dynamic of someone's life, and
Yeah.
now we have to work, like you said, within those parameters,
Yeah.
and what are the limitations?
Mhm.
And I know some people who are like, my kids have to go to this school.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Yep, that's another big one.
Yep. They don't want to switch schools.
Yeah.
They don't want to switch, jobs.
Yeah.
They don't want to go too far from mom or from dad,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. But that's the most fulfilling is when we have all these constraints during their search and we're able to find them that place that they need. That is, I mean, that's one of the reasons why I do what I do, because the rest of it is stressful.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
But when you're able to fulfill the needs of, your client, it's just the most wholesome feeling ever.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. I want to do a quick pause here because our executive team has put Shift Humanity on the screen because I love your perspective and your approach to being a realtor, right? You're looking at the individual person, and you're not just looking at, okay, their finances. You're not just looking at, their personality or anything like that. You're looking at who are these individual people and what are their individual needs.
Mhm.
And if that is not shifting humanity, in what you do, right? I think that's so cool that you are able to make those connections. It's not easy, and you grab people in with your energy and with your smile, and you're very, as gentle as she looks, she's very, very pleasant. But as gentle as she looks, she's about her business and about her clients. Okay, like don't mess with her clients. And I love that. I love to work with people that will fight for me, right?
Absolutely.
And that is what On the Air Sickled is about. Is about giving the opportunity to individuals to share their story where the average person will not give them a chance to speak. The average person will not give them an opportunity to be seen or to be heard. They're dealing with all these family dynamics. And you meet someone like Jada, who then suddenly, creates this warm environment, who suddenly creates this opportunity where, listen, you don't have to worry about this. Let me handle this part of it.
Yeah.
Right? And
Yeah.
you just tell me what you need. And if that's not, you talked about being a God-fearing woman, if that's not the calling of Christ, where he says, hey, take care of those that are in need, right? Take care of the elderly, take care of the homeless, take care of the homeless. Look or the searching for a home, but that is what you do, right? And you do it with your heart. Right. And so I always say, don't get into healthcare unless you care. And I think people do come into, being a realtor and this type of I don't know, this job, career, to make the money.
Oh, absolutely.
Not because they care.
Absolutely.
And here you are, you have someone who is, yes, of course, I want to make money.
Yeah.
But what do we put first, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Jada is speaking about putting people 1st, and that's amazing.
That's so funny you say that, because I'm a part of the Agent for the People team, and that is actually our philosophy, where we put people first. Agent for the people.
Wow.
The people are our priority.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yes.
And so
and it has to, for the people. It has to.
Yeah, for the people.
It has to.
Yeah. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, so let's back up a little bit. Okay, so now you are a realtor. All right. So tell me, how did you decide this is what I want to do?
Yeah.
This is my calling.
Yeah. So that is an awesome question. It was I think my senior year in college, and I used to work on this African American Humanities project called the Chesapeake Harlem Project. And one of the sub projects is they had fellows in which they would grant money to as a sub project. They would give grants to, and so they could then pursue their own sub project underneath the larger project. And so I was asked to join this project. His name is Darius, and he, did things in housing. He was also a housing advocate of sorts, and he's helped lots of people, and so that's his career. And so he was also an alumni of Washington College, and so he asked me to help to be on the project with him. I said, yeah, of course. And through that project, it just showed, as a lot of different things show here, in the United States, we have a history of
Go ahead and say it.
Well,
Go ahead and say it. Go ahead and say it. This is On the Air Sickled. We're airing the good, the bad, the ugly in the name of awareness and advocacy. Go ahead and say it.
So we have a history of discrepancies, right? Of resources, including information, not being shared across the table fairly.
Yes.
And so what he did was he looked at a specific African American community. It was a rural part of the Eastern Shore, and he traced homeownership. And the results to me were outstanding. And part of it was that there was a lack of education, and that leads to foreclosures, that leads to homelessness, that leads to, people now fighting over houses because mom and daddy, cousin, uncle name on a title. And so I was like, oh my gosh. And I've always been an educator. And so I was just attracted to it. Also, my uncle, he's a realtor, and he's mentioned real estate. He's like, you have the personality. My dad's mentioned it. My dad's mentioned he does construction.
Oh, wow.
He also does real estate, but he's not a realtor. And so I've kind of always been around it. And I was like, you know what? This just seems like, why not? My dad was like, yes, do it. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. And I did it, and I haven't looked back. And honestly, because even in college, I switched my major about 4 or 5 times, 6, 7 times, and
the number keeps going up.
And I was like, God, I like all these majors and these topics, but I don't know, what am I supposed to choose? And then I'm pretty sure, because you read the Bible, you find all answers to life. And it was like, look, choose something, stick with it, period. That's it. And it brings you, God doesn't tell you the whole book.
Okay.
You just flip the chapter.
Come on now.
Take it page by page.
Come on now.
So I chose one, or I chose 3, and and the same thing with real estate. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. What comes of it comes of it. I asked God. I said, God, use me. And so this is the opportunities that came to me, and I never think that anything is a coincidence. And so I've been running with it ever since.
Wow. Wow. That's incredible.
That's incredible. I like how you said it was your some of your family members realtors, right? So you had someone to actually help you and guide you through it. You wasn't walking there by yourself.
Well, he mentioned it, but he's part-time, and I was part-time for a while. I actually just became full-time this year. So I guess I have to make a distinction. There are real estate agents, there are realtors, and there are people who have their real estate license.
Okay.
And so
educate us.
So between a real estate agent and a realtor, that just goes by, realtors, we're held to a certain standard, a certain code of ethics that we need to uphold, right? And so when you just have your real estate license, you might not do as much business. You don't have as much experience. You may have a one-off deal here or there. And so this year I actually decided to make the shift.
Okay, I see what you did there. Okay, all right, plug in. Shift Humanity, ladies and gentlemen, please get your book on Amazon. That's author Gracie Terrell, all right?
So this year, I decided to make the shift to full-time because I knew that I could better serve the community being a full-time realtor. Now, it is hard, but it is the most rewarding thing I've ever done.
Wow.
It has blown up my walk with Christ. It's such a faith walk because you don't know what tomorrow brings.
Yeah.
There's that reliance that you feel like on your job. A paycheck's coming. You don't have to worry about certain things. When you're an entrepreneur, that is a faith
walk.
walk.
My God.
Oh yeah, you saying it.
yeah, so I knew my faith would grow, and I knew that I better serve my clients. But there's some people who have the real estate license. There's some people who are real estate agents, and then there are realtors. So.
Okay. So if you were to guide our viewers right now, what direction would you say? Hey, listen, all of these have its benefits, and all of these have the pros, cons, whatever the case may be. What should our viewers look for? Should we look for a real estate agent? Should we look for a realtor? What should we be looking for?
So between a real estate agent and a realtor, I believe that a realtor may be better suited for your needs, again, because of the code of ethics that they uphold. That would be number one. Number two, it really is how you feel, right? It's who you connect with, who you believe has your best interest at heart. And that's on the forefront, driving every decision that you make and that they guide you to make. And so my suggestion would be that you feel it out and you ask them questions. You are hiring your realtor to work on your behalf, and it's also going to be a partnership. And so with anything, you want to be able to vibe with your partner. You want to make sure that you're both on the same page about where you're going, who you are, what you want, and what you don't want. Yeah. And so I would say interview your realtor if you're thinking about working with a realtor, and then just feel it out. You know how you feel. Go with your gut instinct.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it directly from Jada the Realtor. All right, last question, maybe two. Okay, so can you tell us? All right, so we talked about stress, right? We talked about how your god brother has sickle cell disease. What was a defining moment for you to be able to say, "Oh my gosh, like I see my god brother going through this situation, or hearing about him going through the situation." Right. And now, as you reflect back on your clientele, what are some of the things that you're like, "Oh my gosh, this might have been a very stressful situation for someone"? What were those examples?
Stressful situations for my clients? Oh gosh, very stressful situations. I mean, it's so crazy because even after being under contract, you're still kind of stressed out because this is in a buying situation, because you still have deadlines to meet that could void the whole contract, and you could lose your house, lose your EMD. And so I would just say the whole process. And you're right, as I'm older, I really reflect back, because again, when I was younger, I wasn't really, I didn't really see a lot of what he went through. I would only hear from my mom, "Oh, Stefan's in the hospital." Or, I might see a picture of him, or one of those things. But now reflecting back, I'm like, life is a stressor.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Doesn't change.
And I'm like, if I knew now what I knew then, right, I would probably try to be more of who I am, which is someone who tries to relieve in whatever way I can to help take that burden off, especially if it's something that I already do. But now, I am more aware, and, I try my hardest to make myself available in any way that can be helpful in relieving, stress or what have you can be. And also, prayer. My prayer life has been vamped up, reading the Bible and, listening to sermons, and just understanding how important it is to have a prayer life, and that you can intercede on someone's behalf through prayer as well. And so just looking back, life is a stressor. And for anyone who has sickle cell and you go throughout life, I mean, I remember I used to have breakdowns like every other day, just with regular life things that are happening. So, to understand how that then affects someone that has, sickle cell, is like, I am in awe of how you get up and you keep going. So that's pretty amazing, I think, for you, and also for your co-host and everyone else.
Okay. All right. I think that this is the last question, unless Aaron has another question. I think this is the last question. All right. I have always wanted to know, when is the best time to start looking and when is the best time
Uh-huh.
to start buying?
Ah.
Because there's always a debate of, oh, well, you know, if it's later on in the year, then the prices are probably lower. But if it's in the summer, the prices are probably higher. Is there truth to that?
There absolutely is truth to that.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So yes, there is truth to that, and there are cycles in real estate. So there are things that we can sort of expect, but then again, you have the market, which can then kind of do whatever the market does based on other various factors. As you hear people talk about the rates, even though those rates, they don't directly, when they say the Feds are cutting the rate, and it's not the mortgage rates that they're cutting, you know, it's other rates that they're cutting that in the long run will then affect that rate, right? So so many different things affect supply and demand.
Okay.
And so during the summer, it's warmer. You know, people tend to be maybe on vacation or take vacation time. It's warmer, and so the market tends to be hotter. More activity, more buyers and sellers.
I like that. Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
more.
All right.
So that's how you can remember. More buyers and sellers are in the mix, right?
Yeah.
During the colder times, which can be now, it's holiday season. Kids are back to school, so now people have to be stationary more, and it's cold. And so these factors kind of point to a little bit less activity, less people wanting to look into move because of, you know, families coming over. It's the holidays. It's cold outside. Nobody wants to move in the snow, right? So those things can kind of sort of give you an idea about what the market is going to look like. Okay. Now, when is a good time to search is one question. When is a good time to start your process is another question.
Yeah.
And I will say, if you want to buy a house eventually, I would say starting your process now is very important. Now, what does it look like when you start your process? That means you sit down with you can use a HUD certified counselor, and they can go over a budget and spendings plan with you for free. You can take free first time.
Hold on, wait. Sorry. Say that again. What I heard the word free, so I need that.
Absolutely. So I'm actually a Virginia Housing certified teacher for their first time home buyer seminars. And so those classes are free.
What? Free? Huh?
Free. And through that process, you take the class, you get certified, your certificate is good for 2 years. And so that allows you to utilize their programs and products. There are certain requirements, right? So you have to meet with your loan officer, and you'll kind of go through that process as you go along. But another step to that is to meet with the HUD, the Housing and Urban Development Counselor, and go over your budget, your savings and spending plan. Because you want to look at where you are right now. A ton of people say, I'm going to own a home one day. But if you're not saving, if your spending is all out of whack, then are you just going to wake up one day and it's just going to magically happen? The process starts now.
Wait. Isn't that not faith? Isn't that not faith? Right?
Faith without work.
Okay. All right.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Listen, I'm with you. Okay. All right.
Yeah. So that's my suggestion. You can start educating yourself now. It's all about education. Knowledge is power. And that's one of the reasons, again, why I do the Virginia Housing. My team and I, we also have a home buying seminar that we produce the first Saturday of every month in Alexandria. It's free.
Huh?
Okay. And it's just 1 hour. We provide food, and we just give you some, basic information so that you are more informed. We want you to be more informed consumers. And when it comes to buying a house, the changes that you actually make or the decisions that you make, it actually reflects across the board, right? Because if you're thinking about, I want to buy a house, now you're looking at your finances. You're like, maybe I don't need Starbucks every single day. You know what I mean? Or maybe I can park a little further so I don't have to pay for parking, get my steps in because I don't go to the gym. Like I say, I want to go to the gym and save on some coins. You know what I mean? Like there are certain then life decision shifts that you can make that can be better, reflective of your whole life. And so that's why, again, I say real estate is not just I'm helping someone buy it and sell a house.
Okay.
It's a process. It's a process, and it touches other facets of their daily life as well.
Wow.
So I hope that answered.
Yes, absolutely. Like I said, I was stuck at free. Like free.
and let me also plug this in there. There are a lot of free resources. So before you go spending money on someone to help you with your credit, to someone to give you advice or counseling, whatever it is. There are a lot of free resources that any consumer can have access to help you get started.
Okay, see, the more she talks, the more I have questions, because I'm just like, okay, I promise you, we're going to wrap this thing up. I don't want this to be too long, but all right, so you talked about credit, okay? This is not real, so please don't somebody look this up. My credit is, okay? My credit is 620. I don't feel confident enough to be able to purchase.
Okay.
Is that a reality, or is that just what's in my face in this moment?
Yeah. So what I would say is, before we count ourselves out, which is what a lot of renters do, speak to a professional about what it is that you're thinking about or trying to make a decision on. Okay. If you're thinking about buying a house and you're like, well, I know my credit is bad, I know I don't have enough income, I know I don't have enough money saved, you actually don't, because you haven't met with a loan officer yet, you haven't met with a realtor yet to actually ask a professional if this is possible.
Okay.
So meeting with them, again, free resources. And so I would suggest to meet with a loan officer and you ask them, hey, this is my situation. Is buying a house possible? And if not, what are the things I need to do to get to a place where I can afford to buy a house or a condo?
Okay. And with it's 2025, it's not 1965, right? So I just feel like, and this is from my perspective, the more the years go, the more the prices go. So it's like, how do you begin to save? Like, again, we're talking about not just sickle cell, but we're talking about anyone at this point. How do you begin to say, okay, well, I'm going to start saving. I'm going to start putting a little bit here, a little bit there. It feels like, and I guess now I am talking about sickle cell, it feels like the reach is always, like the ceiling is always higher, right? Like as soon as I think I have it, I don't. As soon as I, think I have enough money, I'm showing up to the table. Nope, sorry, there's something else that you need in order to be able to purchase. Those things can be very discouraging. And we, at the beginning of the show, we played our mental health clip. It starts to weigh on people's mental as well,
Absolutely.
So how do those individuals then begin to say, okay, I'm going to hold up a stop sign. I'm going to breathe. I'm going to think this through. And then I'm going to get on my, on both my feet at this time period in my life. Like, how do you even begin if the market is always putting yourself or that individual in a position where it seems almost impossible to grab, the opportunity?
Yeah. So that's a good question. And that's a reality that we all face, because you're absolutely right. Prices do, even in this area that we're in, you guys have moved, a little bit further south, but up Arlington, Alexandria, even Washington, D.C., prices continue to increase. That's what we're seeing all around our nation, right?
Yeah.
And housing can be and feel very unaffordable. You can see in a lot of the news outlets that we have a housing crisis on our hands. I would say it is very important, the team that you hire, which is your realtor, number one, and then your lender, number two, right? Your realtor is going to be able to manage emotions.
Okay.
Right?
That's you.
Okay. But no, it's real, right? That's one of the hats that we wear. And then manage expectations, right? Your realtor should be 100% true and real to you through and through throughout the whole process, so that you know what's happening and what's going on, so that you don't think, okay, well, tomorrow is the day that we get to buy, and then all of a sudden something has happened. Normally, that's not how it works. It's not normally like, oh, well, today something drastic has happened and now I can't afford it. You normally know that ahead of time. So I would say it's important with the team that you hire, and it is okay to feel that way, because that's where we are as a nation. You can watch any news outlet, and the information that they're pouring out, it's extremely, very discouraging.
Yeah.
There are lots of renters that are like, well, I don't know if I'll ever be able to afford. And let me tell you a story. There was a nice young lady that I met. She doesn't have sickle cell, but she does suffer from a drastic, life-threatening condition that she's in right now, and she's in the hospital multiple times a week by requirement.
Okay.
And so we met her this year, and she said the same thing. Look, I'm a teacher, I want to buy. I think it's that time. I'm just unsure. I don't make a whole lot of money. I don't have a lot of money saved up. I just don't know if I can afford anything. She is living in her condo in Alexandria right now with being able to pay her mortgage. So again, we have to also manage our own understanding. Don't always just receive all of the negative that's spewed out there. We have to take with a grain of salt. Oftentimes we're watching national news, they're taking national averages when they're talking about the market. So if we're looking to buy in Virginia or Maryland or DC, we need to go and look at what's happening in those specific communities before we then begin to count ourselves out like, oh, I'm not going to be able to do that. Financial.
Oh my gosh, yes. I just think this is just an awesome and needed conversation for everyone, I think. Just because like I have people on my team that live at home, that live with their parents. I have, my wife and I, we live on our own. But at the same time, people are living paycheck to paycheck. Absolutely. And by the time that second paycheck hits, it's rent, and it's like, well, how do you? And so to know that there are people that are in place that can kind of help guide the process. And I guess what I'm hearing from you is, all right, your finances may not be in the right situation, but start.
Let's start.
Yeah.
And you start by educating yourself, by finding ways to educate yourself. And you can work with a realtor for free, and you can work with a loan officer for free up front, right? And so if you speak with a loan officer and they say you cannot do what you want to do today, then that is when you craft your plan to get where you need to be, so you can do it one day. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Final hat tipped off to Aaron. Aaron, do you have any last minute questions?
I think we might go over the showtime with my question. I know you don't like to wait until I ask it after the show, but how much time I got?
Go ahead. Ask your question, Jay. Look,
all right. I love how you said, because you end up saying those two words I hear a lot, faith and hope. Actually, it was yesterday someone asked me, what is that guideline and when does faith meet hope?
I'm sorry, I think I missed the question.
What is that guideline? Where does faith meet hope?
Where does faith meet hope?
If I could slide out to the right, I would. But
we hope to have a dream house. We hope to have $1 million, but we lean on faith.
That's a good question.
Aaron with the hard-hitting question.
I don't know.
If I'm too preachery in here, but
I don't know if I'll be able to do it justice, but I'll try. So where does faith meet hope? And we have hopes, we have dreams. That's a really good question. What I would say is this, right? Faith is the belief in God to do what he said that he will do to fulfill his promises, right? And so to me, faith takes me all the way. I don't want to say I don't have hope, because hope is a good thing to have, but I live by faith, because hope is not something you always have, but faith is something that you always have to have. Now, I wouldn't say, it's December and, we're in the middle of a blizzard and, you're inside and you're like, I have hope that when I walk outside, it's going to be sunshine and no snow. You know what I mean? Like, we still have to live in some reality. So when, we say, I hope one day to live in $1 million house. If you are not doing things to then put yourself in $1 million house, then, that you can have that hope, but will you ever actually get there is unknown to me. Right. So it's good to have faith. It's great to have faith, right? Faith is a necessity to live life, in my opinion. And it's good to have hope, but faith without works is dead. And so for a lot of people, and I find in some communities, we live by faith alone, but we don't then go and do those things or make sacrifices, do the things that we need to do to then see it. it's my belief that we meet God. I mean, we allow God to move in our lives completely and wholly, right? Like he does what he does, and I'm just like following along. But I have to move.
Mm.
And so for some people, they may just be doing what they've always done, not taking chances, not taking opportunities, not moving, and then being upset about the outcome or being upset about where their life is right now.
So I know that, and again, not to turn into a Bible study here, but you know, Scripture does say that faith is the evidence, right, of things hoped for, right?
Mm-hmm.
So without going into, because I actually did do a study on this, and I don't remember all the details right now, but I would say in the most simplest terms, hope is the engine that carries it. Hope is the gas in the vehicle of faith.
Of faith.
Yeah, right. And so in order for you to have faith, you have to have something to hope for, right? So I hope that I make it into heaven. My hope that I make it into heaven is the gas, the fuel that I need of the faith that I have to know that I'm gonna be in heaven, right? And so, yeah, all right.
No. Absolutely.
So your question though, Aaron, of where does hope, or however you put it, where do they meet? You can't have one without the other. It's almost like you have to have that hope daily to be able to drive the end result, which is the faith that you have. Like I believe I wasn't married yet, right? But I believed and I had the faith that I was going to be married, right? To someone named Chardonnay Beautiful Donald. And and so to be able to say that out loud is the result of the constant hope that I had. Man, I hope I marry this girl. I hope that she says yes to me, right? All right. So in that hope, that fueled me to have the confidence to be able to propose. And in the I hope she says yes, I was like, I went because of faith, right? But my effort was the hope. Make sense? Does that make sense?
It does. I like that.
So it is hard though in this concept though of we're talking about the housing market, we're talking about all the numbers going up and down and what's the best time to to purchase and stuff like that. It's hard to have the gas tank or the gas to be able to say I have faith because you know what's right in front of you, right? And even Jesus told was it Thomas, hey, look, yes, you believe because you see the holes in my hand, but blessed are those that have not seen and believe, right? And so it takes both. It takes both. It is not easy. It's not something that everyone will be able to grab a hold of today or tomorrow. Like that's something that you kind of grow into. It is something that I am challenged with. Can I just speak about myself? Like it is something that I'm challenged with. I have hope that the sickle cell community will eventually have a spotlight in primetime media, right? Not just on June 19th, World Sickle Cell Day, and not just for the month of September. Like I have the hope, right? And that carries my faith to believe that we have a place next to cancer patients, next to those that are dealing with other chronic illnesses and stuff like that, dementia, Parkinson's, all those things. I work in activities as an activity director. I work directly with people that have and suffer with dementia and Alzheimer's, right? And there is a place for them. There is a website dedicated. Everybody knows, right? Alzheimer's.org. Like everybody knows that. But does anyone know about On the Air Sickled? At www.onairsickled.com. Does anybody know about that? Does anybody know about the ASH guidelines, right? That there are guidelines from the federal government to manage sickle cell disease that doctors who wear the white coats do not know, right? And so because of that, the community is suffering. Like you said, lack of knowledge, lack of education. That too is biblical, right? And so we have to put ourselves in these positions to be able to receive the information and kind of soak ourselves in it to be able to walk in that confidence that does become our faith. No, but I love that question. Sorry, I just put on my minister
Faith is
hat for a
feeling, and hope
second.
is visual.
The hope becomes visual. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yes.
Faith
Yeah.
is a
So
feeling. Come on, everybody knows that feeling of faith.
yeah,
It's like your whole stomach is just bubbling with joy. But hope is that visual aspect that led you to that faith.
that led you to that faith. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, listen, we are over our time, but I'm so excited to be able to have a community leader, a pioneer, okay? What else can I say? A soldier for Christ, all right? SOULJA, okay? Soldier for Christ. Miss Jada Aristide.
Absolutely.
All right. Jada the Realtor. She is a first-time home buyer, educator, and realtor. Listen, she is here in the DMV area. If you all need to contact her, you see her social media is on the screen there. Do you have a website as well?
The social media is fine. We also, for my team that I'm on, is Agent for the People. So you can go there and you can find contact information for us and see a little bit more about who we are.
All right, awesome. And like I said, y'all, I would not put anyone in front of you that I did not believe could help you. Okay, I have referred this young lady to my best friend, and so listen, I trust her with everything in me to say that she will do the work to bring you across the finish line. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us here at On the Air Sickled. Please remember this holiday season as Thanksgiving is right around the corner. Hug your family, okay? Make peace with those that you are struggling with, and understand that we all need a little bit of grace this Thanksgiving, all right? Today's weather is going to be a high of 58 degrees, a low of 38 degrees. Tomorrow, we're looking at a high of 67 and a low of 50 degrees. So make sure that you all are also staying warm, that you're bundled up, that you are hydrated, all right? We don't want to go into the hospital and give the people our money because we don't want to pay that copay. All right. So please make sure that you all are taking care of yourselves. If you would like to be the next guest on the show, simply go to www.ontheairsickle.com. You can click the share my story link at the very top of the page. Jot down some information about who you are, why you want to be on the show. Tell us a little bit about your sickle cell journey and experience. You personally do not have to have sickle cell to be on the show, but you must be connected to the community in some way, shape, or form. Please put that information in that job box, and our executive team will look at it, review it, and you could be the next guest live on the air. Also, On the Air Sickle carries a 3-layered vision. All right, so we have the dream and the vision to be able to continue to grow On the Air Sickled. As you can see, Jada is our first in-person guest, right? So excited to have her next to me. And so we are looking for opportunities to grow and develop On the Air Sickled in some way, shape, or form, right? As we told you at the top of the show, that our co-host, Miss Erin Washington, is becoming a sickle cell healthcare navigator. That is one way that we lean into developing our team. Our chaplain is becoming a sickle cell healthcare navigator. One of our board members is becoming a sickle cell healthcare navigator. We are investing in the people that work with On the Air Sickled to make sure that they are educated, right, Jada?
Absolutely.
That they know about the community and what the needs are and how they can best support you, okay? The second component of our 3-layered vision is for continuous sickle cell research, all right? So we're looking to partner with the NIH. We're looking to partner with the federal government, and we're looking to partner with educators to be able to invest in them and their programs so that we are in a better position as a sickle cell community. All right, listen, my people perish for their lack of knowledge. That is scripture. All right, that is from the mouth of the Father. All right, we want to be able to invest in sickle cell research. The more we know, the better we operate. All right, the last thing that is near and dear to my heart is the Flip the Bill campaign. Imagine for a second a family member who is the primary caretaker and provider for their family, now ends up in the hospital because they have sickle cell, and they're in the hospital for 5 days. All right, that's a whole week where they are unable to work. That is a whole week where they are unable to go to the store and provide food on the table for their children, for their husband, wife. That is a whole week where someone is in a room alone, being stuck in the arm with needles, getting treatment, trying to recover, and feeling weak and less than. All right. What if there was an organization? What if there was a nonprofit organization that wanted to flip the bill? That's right. When you go into the emergency room, we take care of the cost. When you go into the emergency room or you're admitted, we're the ones that's giving you a check to be able to go to the grocery store so that your family doesn't go without. We want to be able to flip the bill, and that only comes by your donation, by your monetary donation and gift to this nonprofit organization. So you can donate through PayPal or Zelle at On the Air Sickled OD. Again, you can donate any monetary gift of any kind. It does go to the entire operation of On the Air Sickled, so it lands on good soil. You are not investing in a group of people that is just doing this for fun. Aaron and myself are the only ones on the team with active sickle cell disease. However, our team are part of our family and part of this effort to make sure that our voices are heard, that we are aired, and that people know about sickle cell disease and all that we go through. So we need your support. How can you support? We need you to give. Money supports the mission, y'all. Money supports the mission. All right. Please also click on the notification button on YouTube. Don't miss a single episode of On the Air Sickled. Again, we are broadcasting on Facebook. We will put some images on Instagram. We are airing on Spotify. We're airing on
iHeartRadio
and iHeartRadio. So we are on several platforms where you can watch and listen to On the Air Sickled and get all this great information from Jada. Was she not a blessing, y'all? She was a prime time appearance for On the Air Sickled. Okay. All right, so super. Okay, so I just learned this a couple of weeks ago. All right, so she was amazing and just so much knowledge. So excited to have you on. Again, please connect with Jada on her platform at Jada the Realtor.
Yeah, and if I can just say thank you so much for having me on. It was truly a blessing. I'm so honored to be a part of this, with my minimal connection to the sickle cell community and your trust for me to come on here and speak with you and your viewers. It's truly an honor.
Oh, absolutely. Jada, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Jada. I'm OD, and
I'm Aaron.
And you've been listening to On the Air Sickled. Listen, please remember to stay warm as the weather is changing, and also remember that you are never alone.